Hello, hello, hello. Ooh, give me a minute, y'all. I'm having a hot flash. I had to run downstairs, cut the heat off downstairs so I can cut the air on upstairs because I'm hot. So, yeah. Give me 1 second. Say hi to the Lowe's receipts. We're going to get started in just a minute as soon as I get a good cool off because I am burning up. Lord have mercy. I don't know where this hot flash came from. It just popped out of nowhere. Whew, I'm almost there. Ooh, child, this is something we need to talk about. Hot flashes and why are they so severe? anywho, welcome to the live tonight. We're gonna talk about Love and Marriage Huntsville. Y'all, did y'all just finish watching the Carlos King interview? He interviewed Destiny tonight. It was good. I think we're getting to see Destiny walk into her soft girl era, and I'm here for it. I am here for it. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Tonight we're not, hopefully won't be using any clips or anything. I don't have any pictures that I've taken, but I'm going to use my fair use disclaimer. Some material in this video is used under U.S. Copyright Fair Use Section 107 for purposes such as commentary, criticism, news reporting, and education. Oh my God, Symmetry. It was so good. It was good. I enjoyed it. I didn't catch all of it, but I caught on to, I would say the last 30 minutes, maybe a little more. And I enjoyed it. I'm glad that she cleared up. Nothing beats getting information straight from the horse's mouth. And yes, I'm glad it came. Good evening, Lady B, 1975. Let me go up to the top. That's me talking. I'll be like, hey, Pretty Riri Speaks. Good evening. I'm so glad you guys are here. Good evening, Symmetry. So I watched the live. I watched the Love and Marriage Huntsville show. Did I watch it Saturday night? I don't think I did. I think I was gone. Or I was in bed one. I don't remember. But I didn't get a chance to watch it until tonight. I think I started watching it and then didn't finish because I remember when I cut on the app, it started at the midsection. So we're gonna get on into it and talk about it. Let's talk about it. Remember, everything that is said tonight is in my opinion. All views expressed in this live are, in my opinion, they're alleged and they're only for entertainment purposes. Don't get upset with nobody. Don't dislike nobody because of what I said. Chad, we just up here to talk about it. We just up here to talk about what we saw. And honey, you may have saw something differently. And if you did, just put it down in the comments that you saw something differently and you want to talk about that in that direction. We can move over there because I'm open to everybody's opinions. I'm getting over a cold, so if I sound a little stuffy, that's probably what it is. Because my sinuses have been acting up. Hey, that's me, AD. How you doing tonight? We're gonna go through this. Hopefully, it won't take us all night. But I am ready to, let's talk about it. So, Love and Marriage Huntsville, this is season 10. This is episode number 12. For some reason, I think we should be further than season 10. But they said this is season 10. The title of this episode is called Destiny Manifesto. Destiny Manifesto. Y'all give me 1 second. I need to pull something off of here and make sure I send it to the right person. That wasn't right. Y'all, give me 1 second. Y'all, I'm sorry about that. I had to send something to someone. I sent it to the wrong location. So I want to make sure I send it to the right location. So let's start. So this episode was called Destiny's Men, Ifesto, with a hyphen between men and infesto. Thought that was a little weird, and I didn't really care for the very fact that they decided to have an episode pretty much at Destiny's expense. But we're gonna get into all that. I just did some of the things that happened in this episode. I kind of found a little baffling, but hey, they like it. I love it. Scene one was Martell. He meets up with Destiny and Chris, and they go to a place called, I believe it says Salt. They meet up to discuss the sale of a house that Martell is building. Martell says this is his dream home, a house that he's wanted to do prior to him getting a divorce. He said that this home will be 7 bedrooms, 7 baths. He did not give a square footage. If he did, they cut it out. He said it will have a swimming pool. It's a custom build. He did have the blueprints with him. And Martell said this house will be a multi-million-dollar listing. So, child, whatever that means, it will, apparently sell for over $1 million. He said multi-million-dollars. So I guess he wants a couple of million. We'll see once the house is built, if it's built. And what they're sitting there to do, they're discussing the sale, what the commission will be, because Destiny, I believe, and Chris are supposed to be like working together. I'm gonna say this. Let me go on and read what I wrote before I say what I said, before I say what I want to say. Anywho, he did mention, I said in my notes, Martell said this home was something he wanted to build when he was married. He states that because of the divorce, bankruptcy, he lost it. So I'm not sure if he lost it, like foreclosure lost it, or what happened, because we know the house either wasn't built or maybe they were building it. I don't know. I'm kind of confused. I wish I knew more to the story because it was sad and kind of convoluted. He said he lost it, but he states he is going to reclaim everything that he lost. He said he will be building the house over the next 8 months. I do know that building a house does take plenty of time. We see Marcel and Tisha are building a 10,000 square foot home, and it's taking them a while. Me and my husband built our house roughly about a little bit less than 3,000, and it took our house probably about almost a year, not quite a year, but almost a year. Started on in 1 year, and it finished the next year, like mid-year. So it takes a while to build a house, and depending on the size, the longer it's going to take. Chris offered his expertise. He said that homes that size, so apparently he knows the size. He said homes over 7,500 square feet, they usually take about a year or so to sell. Chris made the comment, unless he's selling the house, made the comment when he said it takes over a year to sell. He said, unless I'm selling the house. But we all know that Chris's license has been revoked. He made some shady remarks at Destiny, but she may be the one to sell the home because Destiny has an active real estate license. I looked them up before I came live just to make sure that his was not back in active status and she didn't have one, but she has an active one. His actually says revoked. So we know that Destiny has a license to sell real estate. That makes a difference. That you have to have a licensed realtor to actually list the home and sell it. So there's the craziness that didn't make sense that he had 2 real estate agents sitting there working a deal when only one of them is licensed and the other one isn't. Even though Chris has a little name tag on him, he does not have a license. According to the Alabama real estate license, allegedly. Okay. So anywho, in fact, let me put up my little sign. Allegedly, he doesn't have a license according to what I saw online in the public information. So we leave that with that. They begin to talk about Fletcher's game night. I think they call it Fletchtivities. I have not reviewed this show since last season. The last season. Before they took their little break. I think it was September to November they were on break. So before that, I have not. This is the first one I've done since they returned from break in November. Anywho, Chris mentions that Destiny came to the party with Big Will. Destiny says she enjoyed the game night and Martell chimes in with until Lance showed up with that baddie. And Destiny said that definitely wasn't it. She said until the pool. And then Chris, he chimed in and said Nell felt away. She felt like she was being ganged up on, and he felt like Destiny should have came to Nell's defense. And Destiny tried to explain to Chris that it was a miscommunication. She felt like she needed to stay out there to try to clear it up. But Chris really said he really felt like Destiny should have been more defensive to Nell. But I think Nell can defend herself. She seems like she's a great scrappy dude, allegedly, and she can, bark, 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 and get him off of her. I think that's it. Martell asked Destiny if she liked Will, and and then he asked her about Twan, and then he said, "What about Lance? Is y'all done?" And Destiny said yes. And then she looks at Chris, she apologizes, and she says, "I'm sorry, I won't be your daughter-in-law." And he goes, "Oh," I thought that was hilarious. That little scene right there, I thought that was hilarious. Martell proceeds to tell Destiny what Will said at the gym, and he summed it up and said he said he would hit it and quit it. That's what he wanted. And then they play a back shot of Will saying that, he had a lot of love, because when you have a lot of it, it's hard to give it to just one woman. I don't know if he's playing. I don't know if he thinks that's cute. I don't know if he's a polygamist. I don't know. But here's what I do believe, that he probably has several women. I believe that's not a fake thing. I believe that it's probably true. Because one thing is, Will is a nice looking gentleman. We cannot erase the fact that he's a good looking guy. We cannot erase the fact that he has a nice shaped body. And he flaunts it. He flaunts it a lot. And on that show, when they go back to see them at the gym, is Martell, Chris, Will, and Kenneth at the gym. Destiny said he is going to be waiting a very long time if he thinks he's going to hit this and quit this. He's going to be waiting forever. And I'm going to tell you something, ladies. One thing you have to do, you decide who is the one who can have access to your body. Don't just have someone out here get with their homeboys and they try to, put a notch in their belt or whatever, as the young folks used to say. Collecting numbers is what my son used to say when he's in high school. Don't let that be the story. You decide what you want to happen with your body. Don't just let people decide whatever they want to do, because that's not what life is about. That's crazy. Moving on to scene 2, Chris and Nell are at their home, and Chris is coming down the stairwell, so they're showing us more of their house, and Nell is in the foyer rearranging a set of a flower set in the middle. Nell tells us that she's going to open up a boutique called Push and Prissy, and she said she wants to name it that because her grandmother used to call her Prissy. Thought that was, I guess that's fair. I will tell you this, that scene overacted. Like they put a lot into it that wasn't even necessary. Lance, the doorbell rings, and Chriselle, that's Lance. And so she goes, open up the door. Lance comes over, he joins in the conversation. They starts talking about his little brother, Chris. He said he hired him back to work in his business. And said Chris feels a type of way. He feels like he's underpaid. So Nell said that Chris had called her. He'd already called her and already had the conversation, already complained about Lance and whatever Lance was and was not doing. And he felt a type of way. So she said, maybe we should have everybody over and let's just have a talk. And so Lance said, I think we need to. I think we have to. So they decided to have a family Christmas dinner. Not Christmas dinner, a family dinner. Oh, I got Christmas on my mind. AKA a Nell screaming match is what I put in my notes. Chris asked if he should invite Dr. Francis, and Nell says no. Do I think Dr. Francis should have came? Heck yeah. I think Dr. Francis should have been the first one ringing the doorbell. Should have been the first one allowed into the house. Oh, my nose is burning. Anywho, scene 3. Destiny and Will go to the skate park. I thought that was a cute little scene. I think going skating is a fun date. I love to skate. My husband, I don't think I've ever seen him on a pair of skates, but he will go with me to the skating rink. He'll just sit there and eat a hot dog or whatever, and laugh and talk with other people. Because I never normally go along. I'm always invited. So he does go with me. So, but Destiny, I said, where are you going in that dress, ma'am? She had on a pretty dress with a pair of nice shoes that match. But baby, you do not skate in a dress. Destiny had on a helmet. She had on knee pads. But I think they should have went to a roller rink. And I believe Will says that later on. He said we probably should have went to a roller rink instead of coming out to the park to skate. Will, when they went and sat down, and Will had this basket of things that was sitting on the table. So when I saw the basket, I thought it was like a picnic. So he brought food, but no, he didn't bring no food. I thought, okay, what's he gonna pull out this basket? He said, he said that he brought things that had meant things to him. They had some type of sentiments to him. So he pulls out a basketball, and he began to explain what it meant. He told her that he played basketball, played it in college. I think he said he's 6'5". And that basketball has, brought him to a lot of things in life. He said basketball has taught him to stand still, pay attention to the moment. And he then tells Destiny that he has 4 children. Because he says, my kids have taught me a lot of patience. And she was like, oh, so you have children? He says, I have 4 kids. And Destiny asked him, they kept talking, and she was like, oh, so you have children by 4 different women? And he said, yes. And you could tell the more he opened up his mouth, like, you could just see him getting reduced the whole time. Anyway, Destiny asked Will if he was scared of commitment. And he said, well, I don't have any tattoos. But he said that. I saw a whole flesh piercing on his arm. I don't know if anybody else saw it on his bicep, on his, I don't know which way the camera was, but it was on his arm, on his bicep. So I'm thinking to myself, you may not have any tattoos, but baby, you got piercings. A lot of them. You got one right here on your arm. Will said that he could commit to the right person or persons. That just reduced him a little bit smaller. And then he said, I will never lie to you. I just might not tell you the truth. So then Destiny brings up that hidden and quitting comment that Martell told her. Will said, oh, it was just some nonsense. He said that he starts talking about Twan, and that he had been friends with Twan since 2002. And Destiny kind of lowers her head when he starts talking about Twan. And she said, yep. I don't think that's the good thing. She said, I'm going to have to get out of Huntsville. And I really believe that's true. Because this is what I really think. I think Destiny really likes Twan. I think she wants to be able to date freely. And it's hard to date freely with people who know each other. Because they're going to be like, they're talking and comparing. If she's unavailable, he's going to be calling him. It's just going to be too much. It's going to be a mess. So she's going to have to date outside of Huntsville. Maybe not Atlanta. Maybe she needs to go to, like I said last night, Charlotte, North Carolina. Maybe she should go to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Maybe she should try other places. But don't go over to Georgia. Don't go there. Go east or go on over a little bit to the Midwest. Don't go to Georgia. Don't do that. Anywho, while they were talking, she said, I think that, she realizes that she's not gonna be able to date Twan and Will at the same time. And when she was saying that, Will said, oh, I've already talked to Twan. So you could tell that she really was like almost embarrassed, but I really think that they should understand, because men don't seem to get the concept of dating and not being committed to someone. They think that, not so much committed, but dating and not having intimacy with someone. So I really feel like she feels like that's going to be an issue. The guys meet, scene 4, the guys meet back up at the gym. Martell, Will, and Kenneth. And Will brings up that him and Destiny went out on a date. He said that to Martell. And then he used that to open it up to confront Martell. And Martell, did you tell her about this hit and quitting situation? Martell then says, he told Martell, he's like, why'd you do that? You knew somebody I like, so I wanted to date, yada, yada, yada. And Martell said, Destiny's my girl. I appreciate the fact of him saying that. Are y'all saying anything in the comments? Because, baby, when I say these comments ain't moved, and it's weird. Because they normally move. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. Because the comments have not moved. Anywho, maybe y'all not saying anything. He said, that's my girl. But what gets me was that originally when he made the comment about that all the guys were laughing. Martell was there. Will, Chris, Kenneth. I think that was it. Yeah, it was 4 guys there. And I just feel like that, they, of course, men have a bro code, but why not stop the behavior up front? Like, hey, dude, why you say that like that? Okay. Why you say that like that? That makes no sense. I mean, where's your respect for women? If you have girls, if you have daughters, is this how you want a gentleman to talk to them? So I thought that was kind of crazy as well. Will looked at Destiny and he said, I gotta watch what I say around you. I mean, looked at Martell and he said, I've got to watch what I say around you. And then he rolls his eyes at Martell. But at the end of all of this, Will should have never felt freely because he should have known. Maybe he didn't watch the show. But to say that about a woman, I just thought that was horrible. And then that none of the guys said anything to correct them. Although Ken doesn't have any biological kids, he is raising daughters. He's helping Trisha raise her daughter. Then I believe he has a daughter by another relationship that he helps out with. And then you have Martell, who has 3 girls. And then you have Chris, who has a daughter, 2 daughters, and then a niece that he's raising. So that he raised, rather. So you have these men with girls who are sitting up listening to this man really be dogmatic about a woman. I found that appalling and disgusting, but that's me. Then Will says that he says Destiny lied to him about Lance, Antoine. So I was like, she lied to you. So he goes, he starts explaining about, he had already talked to Twan. And I said, I don't think she lied. I think she realized that she can't date Twan and Will at the same time. I don't think it was a lie. And I don't think she went on to just, tell all of the story. And then Will, Martell is saying something. And Will said, I've already talked to Twan. But you ain't said what Twan told you. And I guarantee you, just like Twan didn't tell Nell at that table, he ain't told you anything other than they probably went out on a date. Because he said to Nell, we went out on a date. Well, are y'all dating? He said, isn't that the magic question? Child, when I say this, they using the word dating too lucid. Child, just go out and have a good time. You ain't married to nobody. You ain't having sex with nobody. Just go out, date all of them. Date all the men that are single. They take them all on a date. I didn't know until tonight, and Carlos mentioned it, that 95% of the men in Huntsville are married. I didn't know that. I guess the rest are children. I don't know. Scene 5 was the Fletchers. The Fletchers meet up for dinner. All the Fletcher children come over except for Lexi. We know that Lexi doesn't fool with him. Let's invite his girlfriend, Kiara. And Nell screams as soon as she sees the kids coming in. And then she goes into, Lance comes in, I believe, at the beginning and says that they need an extra place because he invited Kiara over. And she said, oh, it's that serious? You just met her? And you know how Nell goes, oh, I think it's too soon. Then she goes into the confessional and says, it's too soon. And I put too soon for who? Because your son got 4 kids, I think, 3 or 4 kids. And he's been married previously, so he's not getting no younger, baby. So I don't know what's too soon. They let the boy date. If he wants to go further than dating, move on. Move forward. Nell began to yell and tell all of Chris's business as soon as Chris came through the door. Just, oh, we came home one day and now Chris is in the backyard. All of this stuff was spread all over the back. I thought, oh my God, because she's screaming any louder. Girl, bring the volume down. It's like she doesn't have an inside voice. You remember when we were kids, your mom said, use your inside voice. It's like she doesn't have an inside voice. Says as soon as he tells them that he had been sleeping in this, I said She tells all his business as he's telling them that he had been sleeping in his car in the parking lot. And I felt really kind of bad for him because apparently he thought he knew he had nowhere else to go. That's why he ended up in their backyard, because he had been sleeping in his car. But child, the way she was screaming and yelling, I probably would have went back to the car and went to sleep. Then Twan comes in with his fine self. Baby, Twan is a good-looking young man. He's a good-looking, fine, young, tall specimen of a man. I wonder how tall he is. He's got to be probably around 6'5", because he is tall. Then Kiara comes in, and Nell instantly becomes fake, is what I posted, because she starts, hey, girl, oh, yeah, good, I'm glad you're here. But you just told Lance it was too soon. Girl, I need you to either read the script, or hopefully they got a teleprompter somewhere near you, because, girl, you giving fake, real fake. And I said, yeah, Nell's yelling as always. Lance is talking about taking this to the next level. If we take this to the next level, Lance, just do what you do. Take it slow. Just take it slow. And then Nell throws Kiara a high five, and this says, don't leave mama hanging now. But when Kiara asks her, can I call you mama? She says, no, just call me Miss Nell for now. Girl, you just said, don't leave mama hanging, literally with the same breath. And she said, well, can I call you mama? Nell needs some lithium. I've been talking about giving gallons of lithium. Maybe she needs a gallon of lithium. Anyway, Nell goes into the confessional and says Kiara needs to slow down. Girl, you need to slow down. Oh, everybody in your family probably needs to put the brakes on. Everybody. Only one I think made sense this episode was the niece. I believe is your niece. The daughter didn't say anything. Chris, he made a lot of sense this episode. And so did little Chris. I really felt bad for little Chris. Anywho, the men go into the living room and they start talking. And while they're in the living room talking, you could hear Nell, who was in the kitchen, yelling over all of them. Like literally, you could hear her yelling. I couldn't have dealt with it. I would have told her, girl, shut up. Be quiet. You're too loud. Bring it down. And I have a big family and we loud, but Nell is like overtly loud. The sisters asked Kiara if she had met Destiny. And Destiny Kiara starts saying, oh yeah, we were at the place. She kept, glancing over there at me. I put in my notes, girl, move on. Move on. Destiny could not care nothing about you. Les is a child and so are you. Move forward. Go get some booty work done. Whatever you want to do. Botox, whatever makes you happy. Leave Destiny alone. Let her live her life. Nell is blowing Kiara's head up, making her think Destiny's jealous. Girl, ain't nobody jealous of this little young girl. Nell yells that Destiny was outside of her house talking to Lance. She said that Lance went to go get a pizza and she caught him outside talking to Destiny. Destiny was in front of the house. But Destiny cleared all it up tonight on the Carlos King show. She said that she actually was driving. I think they went to go get something to eat, driving around. Kids fell asleep, till the kids fell asleep. She had her son and she said her niece in the back seat. And she said, how would I know that Lance was at his parents' house? She said she lives 10 minutes from their parents' house. They actually live in the same town outside of Huntsville. And she said she saw Lance. Apparently they talked. She said it was 10 minutes. It was an hour. And they just talked about life. Child, let me tell you something. I have a friend when I was dating too. I remember when I was dating my husband, even though it's been a long time ago. We could get on the phone and we could literally just be talking to each other about a shoe. And I'd be like, we've been on the phone 4 hours. I'm sleepy. You sleepy? I can remember falling asleep with my husband on the phone. I can remember sitting in the car, like he would come to bring me lunch while we were dating. We were just dating. And he would come bring me lunch and we'd be sitting in the car on my lunch break. And it seemed like the time would just be ticking so fast because we'd be so in depth with the conversation. And I think that happens when you're dating. I think when you're dating, when you meet people that you just mesh with, you find things that strike both of your interests. And so the conversation, they continue to go on and on and on. You see, I'm glad she cleared it up too, because I thought it really wasn't anything to clear up to me, because I thought it was, I knew she wasn't just, no one just rides around with a kid in the car looking for a guy who just may be at his dad's house when he actually has his own house. It didn't make sense to me. She said the exact same thing. She cleared it up. Oh, my nose is running. Anywho, so after Nell runs and tells the girlfriend that, the girlfriend runs to the table, and Kiara confronts Lance at the table. And she said, "Why didn't you didn't tell me that Destiny had come over?" And Lance immediately he dropped his chicken, and then he started stuttering. He almost started speaking in tongues. I don't know if he thought he was a preacher, what was happening, but he started. When I say he was You said me either, but clear it up for others. I agree with that. I totally agree with that symmetry. Clear it up for the riffraff, because they're still gonna lie. They're still gonna make up stories. You're gonna see it all through the blogs. We're gonna have some AI stories probably by morning. So ain't no telling what's gonna be out there. He started stuttering. Everybody at the table was looking down and was laughing. So I wasn't sure if they were laughing at Lance or laughing at the girlfriend, because the sisters was like, "This is too much." Both of the sisters, well, of course, the niece, they consider her the sister too as well. And so Lance said, they are out, they're back as friends. They were friends at the beginning. And he said, I feel like, he said, we're back at the friendship level. Hey, Brown Girls Rocks. Thank you, Miss Leo Lady. I appreciate that. Yeah, please make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. I am over 200 and I'm steady climbing. I'm getting those watch hours in, and I need the numbers to match. Okay, I appreciate you guys, because you guys are the reason why the channel is doing so good. I really, when I say appreciate it, I really appreciate it. So where was I at? Oh, he said they're back friends, and I really appreciate him for explaining that, because you shouldn't have to tell someone who you potentially may be dating that this person is your friend. I think that's crazy, because I have a male friends. When I met my husband, most of my friends were guys. I have female friends, of course. My best friend's a girl. And then I have a best friend that's a guy. I don't talk to him every day. Probably talk once, twice a year when he call me. Hey, best friend. I'm like, hey, best friend. And we probably catch up in 20 minutes and the conversation's over. But I will tell you this, that there's nothing going on between me and my best friends or my male friends. They call me and laugh and talk. I even have my husband's friends. They'll call him and be like, hey, can I call LadyRo? And I need to ask her something. Or you think you can have her call me? And he'd be like, yeah, I'll give you your number. I can hear him now. Oh, so-and-so said call them. Or can you give so-and-so a call? They want to know about X, Y, and Z. So you just have to know the person you're with. And one thing, hey, Sam Baby Doll, one thing you have to do is learn not to be jealous in relationships, whatever that looks like. You got to learn that if something does not serve you, walk away from it. I'm serious, whatever that looks like. If it looks like jealousy, walk away from it. Walk away if you can't handle it. Let me tell you, all this other crap y'all do because of jealousy is ridiculous. Fighting, stabbing, shooting, whatever y'all be doing, just walk away. If it's not self-serving, just walk away. So Twan, they leave Lance alone about Destiny, and they zero down to Twan, who's sitting at the end of the table, and they ask him, are you dating Destiny? And Twan said, everybody wants to know if they're dating. And the niece was the only one at the table who said, Destiny is single. Destiny's single. They are single. They're just dating. And I thought, only one person at this table has common sense, or the rest of y'all just a little slow. I don't know. But it seems as though the niece was the only one who defended Destiny. And I appreciate that. And she may like Destiny like I did. I like Destiny. I've always tried to understand what the hate train was for Destiny, because I have always found Destiny to be fun, laughing. But here's what I do think about Destiny. I think Destiny loves hard. I think she's very loyal, and it's hard for her to really trust. I think part of that came from her marriage. And I also think that it's a conscious decision that she made moving forward, whether or not she would want to be in an intimate relationship with a gentleman, or would it be self-serving not to do that and to build up a relationship so that if it does move on to the next level, it won't be because of superficial means. That's just my take on it, and I think that they may be right. That part, jealousy, will damage relationships. It definitely will. People have got to learn not to be jealous. Girl, please. I done walked up, people be talking to my husband, child, he going home with me and he gonna pay my bills. I ain't worried about whatever you talk about. It don't even matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. I be telling people all the time. So I'm like, girl, I do not care. Girl, promise you, he's gonna be in his house before 7 o'clock, and he's gonna be in the bed by 8:30. I ain't worried about nothing. Worried about none of that. None of that. So you just have to learn how to just not let. And when you've been married as long as I have, girl, don't matter. But you have to learn how to let things go, like not hold on to stuff. I really believe that people in Huntsville, and I don't even want to say that. I'm not gonna say people of the South. People in Huntsville just may not be used to if 95% of the men are married. I'm sure there are a lot of single women, and so most single women are more apt to be intimate with a partner because they think that that's this may show them that I really I'm ready for them. And some men just want to hit it and quit it like, well, they ain't trying give me, look, let me scratch this name off my list and move on to who next on the list. So I really believe the conscious decision to not be intimate and to build relationship to see where it goes. I love that for her. I love the fact that she has choices. Tonight she talked about that she's considered, if she meets someone who doesn't have children, will she be open to having other children? She talked about that tonight. So if y'all did not watch the interview with Carlos King, make sure you get over there and watch it because it was good. It was a great interview. Let me get on back to my review. So Nell, I put in my notes that Nell is too deep into Lance's personal relationship. As a mom with young men, sometimes, because I have one young man, you have to take a step back and assess the situation. I remember telling my son, don't bring me no more girls to meet until it's somebody serious, because we get too old for these different girls every time I see you, baby. Make sure this is the one you want me to meet. Because baby, I got used to Shannon, and here come Jessica. I get used to Jessica, here come Heather. Baby, no. Don't bring nobody over here for no dinners or to meet the family, and they not somebody you trying to keep around for a minute, because I'm tired of meeting all these different people. I don't want all these different people in my house. Just try. So when he come over there, baby, he come over solo dolo. You know how I feel about that. I don't like all them different people. And if I see a different face, I'll be like, who's she? Who that? I don't know about that. I know she coming here. I don't care what you do, but coming in here into my domain, I don't want nothing drama. Kiara, I said, is a little aggressive, and she's a little bit overbearing. Of course, hey, Gail Francis, which said the girls that they want to bring home. Woo, check. Exactly. Chat. Yes, the girls that they want to bring home sometimes be just way too much. I'm serious. I told them, I said, don't bring nobody else with me, because I'm getting a headache. I'm getting a headache. Me and all these different girls. I need you to find one that you like, and then let's try to stick with her. But I don't need all the different folks. I'm tired of meeting different people. You said she was auditioning. I believe it, because she seemed like she was fake. It seemed like she was putting on an act. The very fact that, girl, I don't even want to talk about that. I believe she was auditioning. I'm with you on that. I am with you on that. Let's see where we're at. Oh, in the confessional, Chris said that Lance's choices lately have been a little interesting. So I don't know what that means, but I really believe. You said Kiara isn't a girlfriend and she is doing too much for the game. She definitely was, because some of that stuff, that's not something I would have said to someone who I'm just meeting, trying to get to know. Hopefully it will lead to something else. I'm not going to confront you, even if I hear your parents say or your mom say, "Oh, he so and so came over." I'm not going to confront you in front of them. We'll talk maybe in the car, maybe 3 or 4 days later on a phone call, but like, I've been meaning to ask you this, but your mom said that you were outside talking to your ex. So sum up, da da da. That's how I would never did that at the table. I wouldn't have. But hey, to each person their own child, because I don't know. So little Chris, so big Chris asked little Chris why was he sleeping in his car, and he asked him, why didn't you call dad, when he was sleeping in his car? And little Chris said he thinks his parents care so much that sometimes they're holding him back. I think that was cap, but hey, we're gonna go with it. If you said could have talked, exactly, that's what I said. I would have talked about it a couple of days later. There's no way I would have said that at someone's kitchen table. No, not with a family I just met. I'm just meeting your sisters, and here I am, like, oh, like that's no, never would have happened. Never. I couldn't understand why Destiny was the topic of the conversation when Lance is the whole. Exactly, Gail Francis. As the babies be saying, child, I couldn't understand that this whole episode was about Destiny. And that's crazy. There's no line of separation in her family. They are still dependent on her, and she treats them like kids because exactly, Pretty Riri speaks. She treats them like kids, and then at the end, well, let me get on. I ain't got much left because my notes I typed my notes out, y'all, so I can keep up with them. So I kind of like throw little things in the middle and write a little bit with a pen. He said, little Chris said he felt like they were holding him back. Chris said this is the first time that little Chris has acknowledged his wrongdoings. And I'm like, did we miss something? Because I ain't heard no acknowledgments of wrongdoings. I heard him saying that he feels like y'all hold him back. Maybe y'all are doing the wrong because he talked about y'all, not him. He didn't say I did wrong, I slept wrong, I did this. His mama said she done spent some money to keep him out of the penitentiary. I think we all heard that. But as far as him admitting he's done something wrong, I missed all that. I didn't hear that. Maybe if y'all heard it, y'all can tell me in chat because I didn't hear it. Chris said, oh, okay. Nell says, so Chris makes this comment, y'all, which was weird. He says that, are you saying that, some of it is our obligation, which kind of threw me because I'm thinking your kids are all adults. So did you not teach them to be independent? Did you teach them to be codependent or dependent upon you? I don't know. But he made that comment. And so when he did, Neil said, what is it? What is an obligation? What is an obligation? And I think I think he misspoke. I don't think he meant the word an obligation. I think he meant because we're your parents. So you feel like that we have to that we do things for you because we gave birth to you, and we're your mom and your dad, and that's what we're supposed to do. I think that's what he meant, but he used the word obligations, and it teed his old funny little short looking wife down. It pissed off. So Nell said, what is an obligation? Chris said, well, they are our children. And Nell begins to yell very loudly. And then Lance speaks up and he starts saying, you didn't even hear him out. You just kind of just went in on him. And Nell completely flipped out on Lance. She's like, he your daddy. I live with him. He can speak for himself. Baby, I couldn't have sat at the table with her no more. When they showed the niece was the one with the green eyeshadow. She had her head down and her eyes closed with her head on her head. I can only imagine what their meals are like. Girl, let me tell you something about life. This is something I learned at an early age. If you eat upset, or if you have dinner with someone who is upset, you are actually eating upsetness into your body. You are eating out of stress, right? So it allows your body to build cortisone and actually keep fat on you, because it's dangerous to get upset and eat. You need to be calm. You need to be relaxed when you're eating your food. And Nell is over there screaming. So can you imagine what their lives have been like living with this lady who's chaotic at every meal? And maybe it didn't start that they were older or grown, or when Chris started getting in trouble. I don't know. But I know that it is a lot. It is a lot. You see, I wonder where Lexi was during that dinner. Girl, mind her business. She don't like them people. Lexi don't like them people. Lexi had no desire to be in a relationship with the family. Baby, and she has said that very plainly in several different ways. Lexi don't like them people. You said they are all spoiled and did not have to work for stuff. Lexi said they got expensive cars and whatnot. I believe it. I believe it. And I believe that this episode kind of showed a little glimpse of that. So much and so until I'm sorry. I want to get ahead of myself. And when I said when Les starts speaking up for Chris, Nell completely flips out and the yelling commences again. I said in my notes, talking about dysfunction. Baby, that is the most dysfunction I have seen in a long time. They bring up the last conversation they had about boundaries at the house in the kitchen. And then Nell starts crying. And I put, child, I'm lost. What has happened? Nell starts beating on the table. And I said, I was sitting in front of my TV. I said, bitch, what the hell is wrong with you? What is going on with you? What happened? Because, baby, did they cut out some parts? Because what that made you beat on the table? What has pissed you off that much that you want to beat on the table? Chris probably tunes her out. But you know what? If no one is living there but her and Chris, they probably get along very well. I'm telling you, grown adult children will make you flip out at home. Like you come home, I'm going to tell you, me and my husband were here by ourselves for some years. All of our kids have their own places. And the baby moved back in right after COVID. And I can remember things like when it was just he and I, we could sit our stuff places and we'd come back home and it'd be in those same places. But when you come home after you done worked hard all day and you paying all the bills and the sinks is dishes in the sink and the trash ain't been taken out, there's trash all over the kitchen island, baby, it'll make you flip out. It make you start throwing, like you say, Mama, you fuss a lot. Cause y'all, I come home after a hard day's work, and this is when they were young. I was like, y'all been chilling all day in the summertime, and my house is a wreck. Yes, I'm about to flip out for spring. Get this house cleaned up. So I just feel like that sometimes you and your spouse can get along a lot better when your kids are out of the house. When your kids are at home, because I'm gonna tell you, my husband whisper a lot of times, your daughter didn't wash them dishes. I'm like, go tell her. You're going to tell your daughter to wash the dishes. Good evening, Eva Walker. Yeah, your daughter didn't wash them dishes. Did you see your daughter left those clothes in the washing machine? I'm telling you, none of that happened when it was just he and I. We got so used to it being us. It was so quiet. It was just he, I, and the dog. And then, of course, the dog is gone. And so every now and then I whisper to my daughter, are you looking for a place? Have you found an apartment? Because you got your degree now, so what are your plans? Oh yeah, I'm gonna move, girl. I'm excited. Every day I get a little more excited. When are you moving? Even though I asked her to come back home, because I'm gonna tell you something. During COVID, prior to COVID, she had a really nice apartment. She lived in luxury living. Beautiful apartment. I think she spent like $1,200 a month for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. When I say beautiful apartment, nestled on this nice little area that had great amenities there. And so $1,250, and then after COVID, it goes up. During COVID, I didn't say after. During COVID, it went up to like $1,850. So she had called me. She was like, my rent increased by like $600. Now, mind you, I have rental property. And I was like, girl, let me go. Because my house had been rented out for, my tenant had been there a couple of years. So I had a 2-year lease on mine. So I really wasn't paying attention to the market like that. Maybe I start looking at the market and start having to do price comparison. Let me raise up some rent. And so I told her, so why don't you might as well buy a house for $1,800. So we moved home with the pretense of buying a home, baby. We see where that went. I'll save my money, buy a house, baby. Move home with mom and dad, and you realize I got a lot of free money. I'm about to hit these streets and buy everything I want. She bought her Mercedes. Baby, when I tell you kids a hoot, they are a hoot. So I can understand why Nell and Chris probably get along better when it's just them. Because when it's just them, they just talk. But when she get with them kids, y'all, she flips out into it. She becomes someone else, almost like a Tasmanian devil. The way she was yelling, I'm like, oh my God, calm down. But because, my family dinners with my children, there's not yelling. We both sit around, like I told you, Thanksgiving break, we sat around and played Uno, cards. We played Operation for a few minutes. We didn't play Monopoly because they told me Monopoly takes way too long. Now, when they was kids, I used to make them play Monopoly, and they said that it goes on way too long. They be done. So they wouldn't play Monopoly with me, but they would sit down and we played Uno, a couple of games of Uno. And then we got the big card Uno. So we just had a great time doing those things. But there's no yelling. So I don't understand why you sit around with your grown kids and you yell at them. I can understand the draining part, but you got to find other avenues, baby. Nell need Dr. Francis. Dr. Francis should have been the first person at the house for the dinner. He should have actually been parked in the driveway all night waiting for the party to start because they need Dr. Francis. She need him. And if she don't want to go see Dr. Francis, she need to go see a therapist, somebody. And I understand she thinks it is everybody else, but she needs the tools to be able to manage her own anger. Because her anger, I think, is getting the best of her, especially when it comes to your kids. Baby, I enjoy having my little grown people around me. When I say I enjoy, even though sometimes they get on my nerves. I enjoy it, and when they get on my nerves, guess what I do? I come home and come into my room, and I enjoy my room. Or if they live here, if it's the ones who have their own places, I go to visit them, and when I get tired of being over there, I come home. Last night I went to my oldest daughter's house. We laughed, we talked. The grandbaby tried to feed me some M&Ms, and after she's doing this gentle parenting, baby. After he jumped off the coffee table for the last time, so I'm going home. Cause baby, I can't deal with him keep jumping off the table. He making my blood pressure go up. So I'm gonna go home and then I'll see y'all later. We both was laughing, but I enjoy spending time with my kids, and I don't think that yelling at your kids is productive. I think that there has to be, you need the tools. And sometimes therapy helps. I was against therapy for a long period of time until my daughter told me, she said, I think I'm gonna go to therapy. I find myself, I think I have some anger management issues that I want to just talk to somebody about. And I was like, I've never known you to be angry. She said, I think it's internal. She said, I feel myself stressed out by it. And then she started seeing a therapist, and she was like, Mom, I think we all should go see a therapist. And I was like, oh, Lord, no. Because, see, I was raised in the era where take it to the Lord in prayer and leave it there. Baby, she said, we need to take to the Lord in prayer, and then we need to go to the therapist's chair and sit down and talk. So I've done the same thing. I think that everybody should learn how to work through their issues. Pretty Girl Ruby Speaks, she said that there's no line of separation in the family. They're dependent on her, and she treats them like kids. I wanted to go back to that because the fact that she treats them like kids, I believe, is what's causing her to be so upset and anxious, and even causing her to break down crying. I don't know how much money that Neil has spent, but the amount of money must be great because she's like, I could do X, Y, and Z with that. She said, I've helped this one out, and I've helped Lance out recently. And I think those things she's internalizing, and we all need an outlet. Every single one of us, we need an outlet, whatever that looks like. Everybody's outlet is going to be different. But I believe she doesn't need this show as much as she needs to sit down and have a talk with someone about what she feels, because she's balling up some stuff. The way she sat at that table and started crying, yo, that's not normal behavior. That's not normal. Again, like I said, you should be able, and there should be enough boundaries set, and you hold people to those boundaries, that they stay to them so that you can be able to function in life. But you're a daycare worker, your husband's a real estate agent. You probably should go to some type of therapist, whether it's a social worker, whether it's a psychiatrist or psychologist, sit down with them and they can help you put things in place. They can give you the homework. You do the homework, it'll help you navigate those things in life. I really felt bad for her for crying, but I didn't understand why she was crying. And her husband has offered her the tools. I've also heard Carlos say that they offer them the tools of the psychiatrist and the psychologist. So I'm not sure where the disconnect is, because she definitely probably could use that therapy session. We saw Destiny after her divorce go through therapy, and now we see a different Destiny than we saw the Destiny that was upset about the chicken, the Destiny that had to go through the divorce. This Destiny that we see in is glowing, growing, and moving forward. The very fact that Destiny, at the end of this interview she did with Carlos, her music producer came out because they're about to drop some beats. Baby, I love that for her. I love the fact that she's open, she's honest, she's able to share her life. Carlos said that Destiny told him things that she wanted to do on the show, and Carlos said he did his best to make them happen. I think that boxing match is one of them. So I'm ready to see what Destiny brings. But what I didn't like was the very fact that this episode was centered around Destiny, and it made her look as though she was a 304, as my children say. And we all know she's not that. She's not that. I think she's made a decision not to share her body with men that she does not plan on having a long-term relationship, or she don't know if she wants to have a long-term relationship with. And I think that's fair. I think that's fair for anybody, you, me, anybody. If you decide who you want to have access to you, she's deciding who she wants to have access to her, and whoever don't like it can leave. I love the very fact that she told Martell, with Chris sitting right there, that you can, what was the word she used? She said he's going to be waiting a long time if he's waiting to hit it and quit it, because he ain't going to hit it, so he won't have nothing to quit. So I kind of get that. I get that. You said, well, you be reviewing. I'm going to do Married to Medicine, but I'm not going to do ROP or RHLP. I didn't get a 304 impression. It gave fun girl vibes, LOL, but you can see how others would. Right. I'm going to tell you this. I watched Destiny's podcast online with her and Coach Dion. So I know that that's not who she is because I've watched it. But the light that they shone on her this episode made it seem as though that's what they were trying to portray. Why would you title a whole episode Destiny's Men-ifesto? Why? A list of men that she's dating, or I don't know. It just came off to me the vibe was ugly. And even though we cleared up, of course, she didn't be intimate with Lance. That's why he went out and had a baby on her. And Will wants to hit and quit. We know he ain't going nowhere. But then there was an insinuation that her and Twan had been together. I don't know if anybody else got that, but that's what I took from that. The insinuation that came from Nell, from Chris. The insinuation came from Will. There was definitely an insinuation, even though she had said over and over that she's celibate. It was centered in a very negative way. Exactly, Symmetry. It definitely was centered in a very negative way. I am glad that Destiny is in a position to call her own shots. They were messy for doing it. Exactly. I feel that same way. I feel like, as any woman, all women should decide who has access to them. Everybody does not deserve access to your body. And you are the keeper and the gatekeeper of your own body. You decide who you want to give it to. Period. And who don't like it, so what? So be it. You said, I didn't like the drive-by with Lance discussion. You know what? What's your name? ST3076 at ST3076. Tonight on Carlos King's live that he does on YouTube, he had Destiny on, and Destiny actually explained that. hit it and missed it, but she get to the gist of it. She was not just driving by the house. She was driving. She said she lives 10 minutes from the Fletchers. She had no idea that Lance was at his parents' home. She said she was driving around trying to get her kid to go to sleep, her kid and her niece. And she said that while she was driving around, they got something to eat, and she saw Lance, I guess, pulling in the driveway, so she stopped and they talked. So she said it wasn't 10 minutes, they talked for an hour. She said, in fact, Nell came out the house because he went to go get pizza. The pizza was in the car getting cold. Nell came out to get Chris's daughter and the pizza, while Lance and Destiny talked in the front yard. So, child, I'm telling you, they are trying to paint her out to be somebody she's not. They need to stop putting bodies on Destiny. I totally agree with that. It came from everyone but Lance. Exactly. It made her look desperate. Oh, you mean Destiny? It did. That conversation about her pulling up, and then even with Carlos King, I'm gonna tell you how superficial men think, and I think it's all men. I don't think it's just some. I think it's all men. They think that women think like them. Women and men do not think alike. Dustin said, which I don't always, I don't say always, I don't agree with nothing he said most of the time. He said that Destiny didn't just accidentally go. No, I'm sorry. He said you didn't talk for an hour about life. But life could mean anything. Life could mean what I did yesterday, what I did last week, what I did a year ago, what I'm going to do right now, what I did all day today. That's what life means. So him saying that made it seem as though, oh, you're not telling the truth. You are really have to talk about something else. Life means a lot of things. And just like I said earlier, when I was dating my husband, we could sit up and talk, and it'd be hours. We get on the phone at 9 o'clock and it'd be midnight and we done talked on the phone. We'd be talking about anything. anything, everything. Just talking. So yeah, I don't know. You said, yeah, you did miss the live. You got to go watch it. It's still up. It's the way the production twists and turns the narrative. It is, but I just think it's unfair, especially when you have a single woman with a child. It just makes it look horrible for you to do something like that. Dustin makes me sick. Girl, I think he be high most time, allegedly. I think a lot of times he been hit that ganja before he get on there. At least he be looking like a high, be low. Child, let me move on. They could be talking about the kids and how to get them. In fact, she said that he said, oh, both of them are already asleep. That's why I said people are going to add and subtract whatever they want to any conversation. It's either you give them the information or you don't. The very fact that Twan does not want to talk about whatever relationship he had with Destiny or had with Destiny is perfectly fine. That's his business. The very fact that they want to push something out, someone said, oh, did she pay you? He said, that's pretty much the gist of it. If I'm going to be your security guard, I expect payment. But it's just crazy. It didn't make any sense to me. The push for us to try to make Destiny, and even Martell, they were talking. He said, we're just going down the line. So we talked about Lance, we talked about Twin, we talked about Will. I got 5 more. Did anybody else hear Martell when he said that? He said that. I got 5 more. That's your homeboy. Check him about that. Because what if you said you had 20 more, because that's his favorite number. I got 20 more women that say you done hit it besides Ariana. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. And I think a lot of times because someone does something, they feel like that other people do it too. Not just you doing that stupid stuff. Everybody's not doing it, just you. Sorry. You only have yourself to thank for that. Only you be out caking for an hour talking about other things. So I wonder what your conversations sound like, Dustin, when you're talking to someone who's actually standing outside of a car and you're inside the car for an hour. What are y'all talking about? If you think that they were talking about something else, what do you talk about when you meet people that sit in the cars and you're standing on the outside? Why does it matter what Destiny does? Exactly. I totally agree with that. Why does it matter? But they did mention that at the table, which I thought was weird. But you guys, that's the gist of what I got from this week's episode. Hopefully we'll be through watching the Fletcher family. until they could get into some type of therapy. Because, child, they are draining. Watching them cry, watching her yell, watching the kids. Even little Chris, he was trying to, I think, be open and honest with his mom, but her yelling, it's like she doesn't have any sympathy. Maybe her sympathy meter is over. And a lot of times kids will tell you what they think you want to hear and make no changes. So maybe that's the problem. I don't know. I don't know. We're all on the outside looking in. But here's what I do know. Neil needs to stop yelling, and she needs to stop breaking down crying and not being able to express what her problems are. She can go sit on somebody's couch and talk to them. That's it. That's all, girl. Go sit down and talk to a therapist. That's it. Anywho, you guys, that's all I got. Y'all got anything else? That's it. Tomorrow I'll probably do my live about Married to Medicine, and I think I'm gonna do another Peach McIntyre live. Baby, I done found some more stuff Peach doing. Peach had a woman pay her $20,000 to advertise for her tax business, and apparently they did something in a hotel room where she walked in, she knocked Peach on the bed, and Peach gets back up, and they got on this Lululemon outfit, and chat is a hot mess. And she say something about, I just got textified or some girl, something real ghetto fabulous. Baby, I'm gonna tell you something. If you could have spent $20,000 and went to your local news station. All you had to do was go somewhere and get a studio and get someone to make you a commercial. You could have spent $20,000, went down to your local news station and got a little spot on the news for your advertisement. That's what I would have done. Ain't no way I would have gave Peach McIntyre my $20,000. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way I would have gave Peach McIntyre $20,000 of my money. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. I don't care what she doing. I do not care. Maybe 100, maybe 200, maybe even 1,000. But $20,000 to let me see if I can find this. That's just how crazy. I'm gonna find it. Hold on. Maybe I should look on the ticker tacker. See if we can find it. It's gonna be some music, so I'm gonna have to mute it. Is this it? No. That's what she got, that fun little purse. I'm here, y'all. Let me see. I'm gonna bring y'all over here. We're gonna scroll up together. I got 14 people. You said, could I produce a whole mark? Exactly. Y'all got a link coming off my nightgown, my little onesie with the footies. When I heard how much the lady had spent, I was like, she could have went down to a studio, got a videographer to create her a whole scene, did a whole little commercial shoot, went down there, and it may not even cost her $20,000 to get a little spot on the news. To child, when I tell y'all that is the biggest mess I have seen, that's a mess. That is a mess. Let me see if I can find it. She just, and look, if y'all look up here, people steady giving her their money, baby. Y'all people walk around here being mad at that content creator. They got to go fund me, but baby, this right here is the biggest scam I done seen yet. And people steady giving her they hard-earned money. She letting them put wigs on. Who do you know is going to pay you to do your hair? The beautician gonna pay you to do your hair, and the person gonna bring you a wig for them to do, and that person gonna pay you for bringing you the wig. Then the person gonna do your makeup, and they gonna pay you to do your makeup. They ain't even getting no shout out. They just doing the makeup. Let me see if I can find that video. Cause I like this look right here. I love that hair. Now, she's still a little mean old bitty, but yeah. I'm probably gonna have to mute this video. Baby, you should not took that picture right there. I like this hair. I like that wet and wavy. That wavy hair. I think that is pretty. And I like to see her in a blonde wig. I really like that. But I'm gonna tell you this: a lot of these videos that she's doing are from videos that she owed the people from last month. A lot. She is still doing them, but a lot of these are from last month that she was supposed to do. Here it is. This is that video. Let me see if I can open it up. I need to mute it though first.
Man, I'm so motherfucking tired of being broke.
Mute it. This is the text video. Oh, maybe it's not any music to it. Let's watch.
You looking all fly. Man, I'm so motherfucking tired of being broke. I need me some motherfucking. Let me go. Oh, all I needed to do was file my taxes. You see me looking all fly. Thanks to Success Tax Firm.
Y'all see that? That lady paid her $20. She paid her $20,000 to do that promo. $20,000. And she got one shot to do it. Baby, she should have went over there to Tia Kemp and gave Tia that $20,000. Tia would have did her. She would have did justice. Child. I don't know. Gail Francis, I know what I'm supposed to be doing for you. Miss Wanda, I did speak with her today. Let me put up this number and I want you to write it down. Let me share this. There is a number for customer service that you should be calling, is what she said, to see if there's a problem. Here we go. Let me see if I can find the number. I had the number here, but I don't know where, from when I ordered. Is it on this thing? There it is right here. 205-567-3209. Again, that number is 205-567-3209. That is for Miss Wanda showing up Miss Wanda's all-purpose seasonal. That is the number that you need to call, okay? Okay. Let me see. What I said that number was, because I can't see it and write at the same time. I'll pull it up on my phone. I see Queen Sheba is going live. I'm going over there and watch it because, child, she gave me a little shout. Oh, thank you, Symmetry. You're the best. I want y'all to take this number down, okay? Gail Francis, she said, call that number and tell them that you have not received your order, and they can look it up and research and see what's going on, okay? 205-567-3209. 205-567-3209. All right. What should say? Shaking my head here. Oh, I won't be anywhere near that. Exactly. I could have produced a whole marketing campaign. You and me both, Symmetry. Maybe I could have come up with something elaborate for half that price. Half the price. And would have had the cameraman here and everything. She could have had all that. What she should have done was rent out an office or use her own office space and made it look like she was doing someone's taxes. It could have been really creative, but she did not. And I don't know. I just think that's weird. I think it's weird. One more time, Gail Francis, if you're in here, the number is 205-567-3209. That is for Ms. Wanda's Seasonings, okay? Give her a call. Let them know that you did not get your order, and they will actually look it up and see what the problem is. Let them know what's going on, okay? You guys, I hope you had a great night. I hope you enjoyed the content. If no one told you today they love you, I love you, and there ain't a thing you can do about it. I hope you guys have a good night. I'm going to take some allergy medicine. I'm going to bed. Night night. Bye bye.